Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Alan Troop reporting news from around the Columbia Basin for Tuesday, October 29th. Tonight, we report on the Grant County PUDs, look at how 2014 rate increases could be smaller than expected, and how a hearing in 2012 murder case was closed to the public. In sports, Bob Kirkpatrick reports on the ugly game the Seahawks survived to have a 7-1 record. And our spotlight story tonight is about Farm to School Day at the Ephrata Middle School. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, the Grant County PUD is looking at a smaller increase in rates for 2014 than it previously expected. The utilities proposed $243 million 2014 budget includes a 2% overall revenue increase compared to the 8% originally planned. Revenue is generated through the variety of rates set for different types of power users. PUD spokesman Thomas Stredwick said how the lower increase will translate into residential and business rates for next year will still need to be decided by the board. The smaller increase is due to a decision to extend the length of time the utility is paying $84 million in 2014 on a series of capital improvements. The decision will extend the payments by 17 years. Many of the projects are mandated by the federal government as part of the utility's license to operate the dams. It is unknown why a Grant County Superior Court judge closed a hearing for a man accused in a 2012 murder. The hearing concerned Michael Rocha, a 27-year-old Moses Lake man charged with being an accomplice to murder in the first degree and kidnapping in the first degree. Grant County Superior Court Judge Evan Spurline wrote in his order sealing the proceedings that Rocha's defense requested the closed hearing without stating the reason in open court. Spurline wrote, "After conducting, on the record, the analysis of such a request as required by law, and having inquired with no response of anyone present for any objection, the request to close the proceedings to the public was granted. The matter was disclosed in closed session, was found to have a substantial and negative potential impact upon person or persons not present and not represented. iFIBER 1 News was not aware of any motion to close the hearing, and no motion to close the hearing was included in the court file. The order sealing the record states it came after the defense attorney and prosecutors agreed to continue other hearings related to the case. All of the information about the hearing remains sealed until an order is given to unseal it. Spurline declined to give any further information." Ephrata High School's homecoming is now memories, and for one couple, the annual fall celebration was a very special experience. Here with the story is Vivian Huang.
It was a typical homecoming night. The exchanging of corsages and boutonnieres, photo opportunities, and a limousine. But for one couple, it meant a lot more than just a night of fun. McKenna Jacobson surprised her girlfriend Chelsea Price by asking her to go to her homecoming dance at the Macklemore and Ryan Lewis concert in Spokane last Wednesday, after a performance of Same Love, a song about marriage equality.
This is my beautiful girlfriend Chelsea. Chelsea, I knew I liked girls since I was the age of 4, but you were the first girl that I ever fell in love with. Will you accompany me to my homecoming dance and be the first ever gay couple to go to Ephrata High School's homecoming?
No, I had no idea. told me at dinner that we had like backstage passes, so I was like super excited. I was like, that's so cool. And then we were just like standing back there, and like he was like singing "Same Love," and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I got kind of teary-eyed, and then she was just like, well, I hope you like crowds, like after we got done. And then she was like walked out there, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I think it's bigger than us, and that it's just a stepping stone toward equality for everyone, and it's just a great example that everyone should treat everyone how they want to be treated. And so I'm glad that we can inspire so many people and help make the world a better place and make it and change the world.
One step at a time.
Jacobson and Price became the first openly gay couple to ever attend Ephrata High School's homecoming dance last Saturday. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Thank you, Vivian. The Prosperity Center in Moses Lake is looking for volunteers to be tax preparers for the upcoming tax season. Volunteers will receive free training with an IRS-trained instructor and IRS software and become certified training volunteers. Volunteers are needed to serve during the tax season from February to April and to serve as greeters. On average, volunteers will spend 4 hours a week for 10 weeks. To volunteer or for more information, call Jan Entz at 509-765-6294. Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DLC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. And we will be right back after these messages with our latest from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center, sports and more news.